Going to compare this.
Good day, good evening, good night, good morning, and good afternoon. And welcome to another exciting episode of Reels Tennis Podcast, the Roger Federer of Tennis Podcast. I mean, I don't care what else others you listen to, but we're the best. It's just,
Well,
I
since we're
don't
the
know how else to
Roger
tell you.
Federer of podcast, we will be very nice and send nice notes out to all the winners and losers today. So there we go.
Mm.
Oh my
You know
gosh,
what? I'm going.
you're a mess.
I thought of, uh, someone follows me. I'm not going to say the tag. Federer is better than me, okay? I don't want to.
Oh
She
no,
said, I don't
everyone's
want to go
Federer's
high.
better than all of us. I'm
I
I'm a,
don't want to
I'm
go high
I'm
today. I don't want to go
no, no,
high
no.
today. That's why she basically.
I'm a salty loser. So this is definitely going to be salty Andrine today. So
Okay.
prepare yourselves.
Oh, here you go.
Oh,
Mm.
listen, always and forever.
Janina, she
Screw
says all of
me.
this and then she comes out really diplomatic and then you're all like, what is she really saying? Did she really, You
I'm
know what I mean,
pretty sure
Janina?
I just told Pablo that Andrine is so good at throwing shade, you don't even know it happens. Some people probably even fucking thank her after she's put them down because she's just so good at it. You truly don't know what's happening. And then you think about it like a week later and you're like, oh, that bitch.
But before I go any further,
follow the
let me
one true
introduce
fearless leader. Go ahead.
my co-hostesses with the mostesses. I am nothing without these ladies. We have Janina from Far Ohio. How are you doing today?
Excellent. Thanks.
Okay.
Love.
I'm good. You know I'm good. I am
Mm.
fine. We
Mm.
know this. I
Yeah.
have no tea, no shade. I've already moved on. I moved on before it was over. I went to bed, so I'm good.
And we have Andre from Solely Tennis Travel. Andre, get back to your seat. I know you're moving around. Yeah,
I know. I had to.
I hear
switch
the
my
faraway giggle.
I know.
exactly.
Sit your ass
I had
down,
to
girl.
switch. I know. I had to switch my glasses. I'm doing fine. I will be salty because I hated that final result. So I'll be bitching about it the whole time. Prepare yourselves.
And we have the homosexual of the podcast, Reels, and we have Maya in the chat. We have Tony, we have Zenobia, and if my numbers are correct, there's some other people secretly listening. Hey, y'all. I mean, hey, girl. Hey.
I hope
I
Corbin is
mean,
here because I got some things to say to him.
I don't know who that is. Wait, I don't.
You
Actually, I
lying
didn't hear the
ass.
name. I didn't hear the name correctly. So I can't say it.
Corbin, Dr.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
Corbin.
okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I think
Well,
we're too low on the totem pole for Dr. Corbin. If
yeah.
Oh, I
know,
gave
if
him a
know-
personal invitation and told him I would be calling him out. So hopefully he's here.
You probably will get some
Bless us.
shade on his timeline. I'm sure of that. Anyway, so the 2022 Australian Open is over. And I want you ladies to talk me down out of a tree because yet again, I didn't even think they needed to have this shit. I think we're doing too much for sports. Sports athletes are not giving enough. They're not proving themselves worthy that we should be risking life and limb and during a pandemic for any of this shit to happen. I just need to think like we need to just stop sports, and that includes the Olympics. So, and I've been
Nonetheless,
very
we're
consistent
talking
on
about sports today.
exactly. Nonetheless, we're here, okay? Because this isn't the world according to reels, okay? These things do happen, okay? Everyone is just like fuck reels, and
Well,
we're
I'm
gonna do what we're
excited
gonna
for the
do.
Olympics because they are going to happen. And I just love this new event. What is this? The second time it's going to happen? The team skate. I'm so excited.
It's the third time it's happening,
Okay, fine. I'm still excited.
and that's
I
about
mean,
gonna be the only real ice in the arena because everything else is gonna be fake snow.
I'm fine with
Just
that.
so
is
you
it?
know. Yeah, it's in Beijing. They don't have it's high altitude, but they don't have real snow. I mean, winter events usually, like in major world, like in like alpine skiing and whatever, they do use fake snow at times. But this is like the first time they're gonna have so much in like basically one area, and people are like environmental fallout, but I'm like, y'all don't care because y'all still going forward. So, I mean,
I know. It's just we just
y'all.
want to acknowledge it out loud for the notes.
Exactly. This was a conversation that y'all knew when the bid was there. First thing you should have been asking, like Beijing, girl, you can't do this because you don't have the snow. But hey,
I mean, they should have gone to New York or Boston. They got plenty.
well, in a blizzard, girl, we're going to skate around
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
why not?
Okay,
Shoot.
this is
All right,
already
let's
too
roll.
much
Anyway,
time on the
yes.
Olympics. Oof.
We on a strict timeline. That's what they say at the beginning, fans. But
No, it's
let me tell you
happening.
something.
Damn it.
Let me tell you something. These two ladies carry it over. But anyway, so roll call.
I need somebody to keep
Okay.
track of how many times Real says, let me just add one thing.
For
Okay.
true.
All right, roll call.
First off, I see Pablo, but that wasn't the roll call. My roll call was
Oh.
who watched the women's final
Hmm.
and tell the truth and shame the devil. Okay.
Yeah, I did not watch. Andreen?
From a fan's perspective, please do not critique us. We are simply fans, so that means that we can choose to sleep in. And let me tell you, I chose to sleep in, so I didn't watch
I-
it. So
As did I.
Zenobia did not watch.
The final, it was just as I expected it to be. I know everyone. Well, before I go in, let me just say,
Pablo watched. Of course, Pablo watched. He doesn't fucking sleep.
I know. Listen to me. When they're trying to do that new Blade movie, Pablo, you need to be in your day walker. Okay, you're a Blade.
I mean,
You
I
are.
wanted to see Danielle, but I just like there was not that was
No.
Danielle is
Tony
nice,
said
but
I
not
watched from
enough.
5-1 in the second. Oh, Tony, that must have hurt. That
So,
must have hurt.
well, here's the thing. This was what I was told. So Pablo can tell me and Tony if this is accurate or not. Karen Bridge P said that actually it looked like Danielle got an injury and that it wasn't the mental collapse that Reels was expecting. It seemed like she did something to her back. So I would like to know what those who watched it
Well, I think she
also
was
said.
supposedly injured the whole time. She just hit a wall.
Yeah.
With her back. I mean, I think it was like a flare up.
She wasn't serving that as
Yep.
well as she had been. She wasn't moving as well as she had been. And from what I understand, she clearly was hurt. So I'm okay with that. That's better than you were up 5-1, ready to win your first major and just fucking mentally crumbled. Like we kind of saw today. But
I mean, I will say though, up 5-1 and then having the person come all the way back, you're still on court that entire time. So.
You are, but we don't know it. I'm just saying, if it was a physical ailment, I'm happy she didn't retire because fuck that.
Tony and Pablo is in her mouth. I mean, if she retired, she retired. She just couldn't. She couldn't. I mean, Justine did it because of diarrhea. I mean, hey, you just gotta.
You know what?
Deal with what you
She
got.
allowed
I mean,
Ash to have her moment. I mean,
Overall, it
that's
was
what
a
she
good tournament for
but
the Australians.
I mean, I don't know why because it was a foregone conclusion that Ash was gonna win anyway. I mean, there was no doubt.
Nobody
that,
expected
know.
anything. Oh,
I
come
mean-
on.
Look,
I
you see,
mean,
the thing
are
about
we
it.
saying that it's? Are we saying that? Well, I guess that was my contention earlier. Was that we're having Ash is having a 2011 year, so she's definitely gonna emerge the winner. But I thought Danielle was gonna at least take a set, and it seems like she was on her way to do
Well, it
that.
seemed like she
was on
gonna.
her way to do right. Exactly. I think the thing that I do, I don't want to use the word admire, but what I would say about Barty's game is that she's one of the few women out there actively playing right now. And maybe Serena before the semis and the finals, that is very, very sure about her game and can execute that game and knows how to make the adjustment to constantly play that game for now. Right? Because watching Ash, I watched her in, I don't remember the semifinals. I think I'm just like, oh, I had the unfortunate experience of watching Madison Keys playing her.
Oh,
And
well,
I
we
was
knew
just
that was a disaster.
I mean, I knew that was going to be a disaster, but I'm just like, Madison, just take the ball out of the freaking air. Even if you miss by a country mile, just go. Do not allow Ash to control the baseline. Do not, like, it was just like, whew. But you know.
So,
Hey, Yvette.
congratulations to Barty.
Yeah, congratulations.
Well on you, girl.
And now,
hey, mate.
And I think I just want to add two things. One,
there's
Danielle
two.
Collins is not a black woman. She's not a black girl. She's not urban. She's not street. Whatever y'all want to project.
Why is this a topic of conversation?
Because it is a topic of conversation in the world of tennis.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, all right.
I mean, I don't think it's a real one. I think it's like everybody's looking for a substitute right now. A substitute that can give some energy to watching. It's hard to watch a tennis match when you don't really care about the outcome. So you got to put a stake in the ground somewhere.
Then go
So
watch
they're
some
putting a
juniors.
stake in
Then
it.
go watch somebody else. Okay.
Oh,
Nobody's watching Junior's reels. Come on.
I mean,
he
this
used
is
to. What happened to you and your young people watching?
because I don't have access to well, one, I have a job now. That doesn't wait. Well, no, I can't. My phone doesn't allow me to, to putting up blockers against, the websites where you can get all of the, watch
Oh
all the
no.
challenges and whatnot. It's really annoying. But I
Okay, so
know
I have a
my.
confession though.
Mhm.
I have a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
My confession is that I managed to get through this entire, and it is real confessions because I should be ashamed of myself.
I
I'm
know exactly what
assuming.
you're gonna say.
I managed to get through this entire tournament without seeing Ash Barty hit one ball that was not in replay somewhere. I just somehow or another, the timing that they scheduled her just never quite worked out for me. So I did not see Ash Barty
I don't think I
play
saw her either,
a
Andreen.
single
And you didn't
match.
miss anything. You didn't miss
I mean,
anything.
she won, so obviously I missed something. She was playing good enough tennis to win, but yeah, like depending, I think just the nature of how they schedule her, I think they gave her mostly evening matches or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like she was just never going to be on my radar because I think it was like what midnight, something like
I
that.
was
That was not going
sleeping
to
every
happen.
time.
So
Zenobia, you're
I was
talking. Zenobia, this romper that you're talking about is something she wore after, right? Like something she
yeah,
wore
yeah.
with.
It's her.
Okay.
It was her.
Oh,
It's a. I can't make fun of the romper because I will admit that I think I have a similar romper from that I got from Aunt Taylor Loft. An orange
I need to
romper.
see the romper. Somebody show me the
It's
yes,
a
romper.
please do.
romper shorts, and it's entirely in keeping with her aesthetic, which is apparently mine
Tony,
as
I
well.
mean, Tony, you can't be out here offering Tennis Channel Plus when you all who pay for Tennis Channel Plus can't even get Tennis Channel Plus. Y'all always complaining that y'all can't see anything. So I didn't mean to that
No, I
list.
mean it wasn't ESPN Plus. Listen, if I really,
No, I have
I, wa-
ESPN Plus. I could see that if I want.
is Tony telling us that we should have taken some spare time and gone and watch her repeat of her match?
Oh, no.
That's not gonna happen. Sorry.
I have to say, look, I think I was when I
Did
think
she
she had
wear her
gone through
hair
like
different?
5 rounds and I didn't see anything, and then I watched the semifinal because I wanted to do my good Judy Chris
Mhm.
a favor because he was just like reels, you're pulling on my girl Maddie, and I just like
Yep.
what, let me just go watch Maddie. And one of the things I think one of the things that puts me from getting to the body party is, unless she's playing Pliskova, is because Phila had Ash Barty dressed out there like a bag of fish and chips.
I thought you said that. It's
She
newspaper
was
sheet.
wearing
Stop
this
it.
weird black. Like, first of all, Phila just never does anybody right.
No,
I
they've
think
never
the
been good. Fila.
only person that I see, forgive me, Jesus, the only person that I see did look like
Clysis?
it meant for her, not even Clyde, was Jennifer Capriati. And that's because Jennifer Capriati look like she's gonna fight somebody. And they make looking like we going for some wrestling suit. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. That Phila puts out like they almost look like singlets. That we about that these girls just need that helmet and they're gonna fight somebody. And I was just
Mm-mm.
like, Ash, girl,
It was
you and
fine.
Rod
I
Laver,
mean,
prime time in Melbourne,
they loved
and
it.
you pick this crap? You're like a
Listen,
bag of fish and
leave
chips.
her be. I'm gonna defend her right
Nah,
now.
nah. I
Nobody
mean,
cares
come on.
about
I
what
mean,
Ashley Barty was wearing.
no, you can't tell me you're not interested in fashion, aesthetic, and I'm sure she looks better in her towel. She should have come
She
out
Oh
looked
there in a
better.
boy.
towel
She
and.
looked better. She looked better in those. I like the color she was wearing in her photograph. That orange popped. Or
But
what,
she's
what
not
was
playing in the romper though. I mean, what she was playing with? Oh my god!
Anybody seen her hair down? She got some?
I think she has fairly long hair. Actually, I think
Yeah,
her
I
hair is
think she
about the
has long
same length
hair.
as yours, Janina.
Hmm.
Um,
So I take it you all didn't see the ceremony. I think it was a
I
very
saw
big
nothing.
deal. I
I'm
think
sure
that
it was an
one of
Australian
the
winning in
nines were
Oz.
there.
I'm sure it was a huge deal.
well,
You know how WTA does.
yeah, but I
There's
mean,
only like 9 women that you should care about in the WTA from historical perspective, and it's that WTA 9. So I think one of them was there. But no, I think you know what? I said good on them. You know, the
Yeah, I mean,
Australians,
good for
they
her. I mean, like,
suffered,
she's been.
they hosted a slam, and they got to have a champion that's a home champ. Good for them.
Look,
Sorry we missed it. Wasn't gonna miss my sleep for it.
and
So
but I got up for the men's double though. I did.
okay. Oh, you are bad.
Talk about
You
it.
got it for the men's doubles. How was it?
Yes, I mean because
Oh no, the big thing to note, which I was all over Twitter, is that Barty won her slam against the exact same group of ladies that she won her previous slam against.
Oh, really?
Amanda Anisimova,
wow.
Jessica Pegula. Basically, she conquered all the Americans, so she pulled a little bit of a feather.
Wow.
Interesting.
And Danielle Collins. Like I think she played all three of those. I think for Roland Garros, was it? So
And
yeah,
she didn't drop a set. Did she drop a set? I don't think she dropped a set.
She didn't drop a set. No. So it was actually a fairly dominant. You know what's so funny? It was a dominant performance by the number one player, but all the story was about everything else happening everywhere else. Like she just quietly struck her way through the draw while everyone self-destructed, and you were talking about those matches. You know what I mean?
And
So,
funnily enough, I don't think she's beaten a top 10 player to any of her majors.
Nah.
But yet, some of the body partiers will be out here dragging Sasha's era.
But that's not her fault.
And it's not Sasha's fault either. But I'm just simply saying he's losing to the people he should be losing to. Right? Like, but saying,
who's Barty supposed to be? I mean, that's the wonderful thing about the way this works out is like all the folks lose before they get to her. So
right, and again, I'm never going to be mad at the drop because you can't go back and pick someone and be like, I don't want to fight you. I want to fight somebody else who might be, you know what I mean? That's not how it works.
Yeah, for sure.
But we need to be consistent with the arguments here. You understand what I'm saying?
Like, we're not going to do that. It changes. It changes. I mean, it changes depending on gender. Like every
who we like, right?
Or like one week it's all about the ratings, and then if it's WTA beating everybody in the ratings, then ratings don't matter. Next week it'll be like ratings don't matter at all because the men's final got a lot of numbers. It all changes depending on what you want.
Oh gosh, this is why I hate when everyone is trying to define everything. Like like this, the new thing is just Ashes won a slam on every surface, and and
I was like, what? Did she win the U.S. Open? But then I realized the U.S. Open is considered the same surface as. So now we're just talking about surfaces instead of saying all four.
Oh wait, she has all four majors?
No, all three. But you know what's interesting? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I got
Andre?
No.
I think what came out, one of the most interesting thing that came out of this final result for me is that I think someone asked her coach, I don't know who he is, or it could be a she. That's how much I know. But I think it's a he that, is she then going to go to the US Open because, like she has three. And I think someone said two. The coach said in reply that, oh no, she won't ever win there because of the balls. That the US Open used different balls for the men and the women. Yeah. But I thought that was standard across the entire tour that men and women do not use the same ball anyway.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I mean, they don't use the same weight of balls either. It might be the same brand.
But even if you're playing with the same brand, I thought the weight of the balls were different.
It was different, yes. That's what I thought too. And he said that, the US Open, since the US Open has been adamant about that,
maybe the difference is just a lot more significant there. I don't know.
And,
well, I mean, it's like
she wouldn't do well there. That he said that, that she clearly wouldn't do well there. And I thought that was rather interesting because I thought it was I think the people in the comments were just like, wow, what a horrible thing to say. Two was that here was a thing that he thought was so significant, and it's something that gets overlooked in tennis. That that we don't talk about the difference, the surface.
Oh, people talk about that all the time. They talk about.
They talk about it, but it doesn't get factored into, anything. We just pretend
qualifying why someone is winning off in one place over the other.
Right, exactly. We almost talk if all things are equal. Like back in the day, we knew that. Not the same style of playing, the same person was winning on the same thing, no one was, but now everyone has to be all player. Everybody has to be like, you're nothing.
I think he underestimates the possibility. I mean, look at how she
Of
went
course
through
he
this draw
does.
for sure. And all kinds of things happen at the U.S. Open. It's a ruckus over there.
And apparently, I think what
She's like, "Where
they
the fuck
added
you
was
been?"
that this was the reason why she didn't go to Guadalajara.
Yeah, that's the same reason why she didn't go to Guadalajara.
Because
I
she didn't
remember
that she
the
wouldn't have been winning, and I was just like interested.
but
So y'all
also
out
we're
here
just
being
not showing
strategic,
up
which is
places
interesting.
where you think you
I'm
can
not mad at
win.
that. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, but can you imagine saying that? Can you imagine somebody in the men's store saying that? I'm not showing up because I just have no chance of winning. Like what?
Well, the Spaniard used to say that for Wimbledon, right? Like, I'm not
But I
interested
mean,
in any of
imagine
this.
the number one playing the number one player saying, "Well, I'm not showing up simply because I don't think I'm going to win." Like we would never allow it. It's just not. It's not how we do.
Right. I mean,
You show
but
up and say and take your licks. That's what you're supposed to do. Even if it's not your
and
favorite surface, you just do it.
yeah, and I think the other bit for me is just like women, girls, and then boys too. Let me tell you something. Maybe because I'm a Leo, and maybe because I'm petty, and maybe because I'm a judicious hater.
All of
But
it.
I ain't getting my ass kicked and walk off the court and talk about congratulations and talking trying to be classy. Fuck that shit. If this is a battle and I'm supposed to see you, and what I want is at the top and I have to go through you, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you got me today. But guess what? I am going to try to, and this was the thing that pissed me off with Madison Keys. Madison Keys showed up in that match. I don't know if she thought Ash was going to roll over, and I don't know what she was thinking. And that's something I've always noticed about Madison Keys. It's just like she expect divine intervention to come into being, into playing.
I
And
mean,
every
I think
time
that's
someone,
historically. I think she conducted herself differently this tournament. Oh, don't you think?
Who did? Who conducted themselves different? Yeah,
no.
What you mean? No,
I am telling you, and that body match proved it to be. It's only because Badosa and Creature were not in best physical condition
It was very hot. Yes.
that Madison Keys even got out of the fourth in the quarterfinals.
But that's
She was
better than she normally would have. If
well, that's
even
true.
if they
She
were
got the
even if they were
money,
train
she got
wrecking.
the
Yeah.
points, and I'm not mad
Yeah.
at that. But
Yeah.
what we can do out here is rely on Madison to do big and great and wonderful things. Just now.
I mean, every now and then. I mean, she just ran up against a better player, and who was self-possessed enough to say, "Hey, I'm going to run right through you."
Well, I just think she ran up against with a game plan. That's it. You just had a game plan and be allowed to execute it. Madison Keys just be like, we just gonna be.
Zenobia, I didn't think that Madison bashed her way thing at all. She actually really
played tennis.
Yeah, I think she played really solid tennis, composed tennis for the most part. She did like listen, yeah, you're right.
That Kwan match, I think that Wang match, I think everyone spoke about that. I did not.
Yeah,
see
that's
that.
a good match for her. That was a good
That's
match
a good
for her.
match
She
for
was
her.
tested. And I think you're right. The other two weren't great, but sometimes Madison can trip over her own foot. So getting through those two matches was still pretty.
They were on the ground anyway, so she just had to just step over. She didn't even. She just had to do a little jump, poop, and I was over.
Okay, we're gonna move on because you and your Madison Keys disdain is strong.
I want better things for her. I do.
You?
Yeah, I mean, like it's gonna be. It would not be a cute post career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I get your point though about the.
And with this proper girls that we got,
she's the queen of nice. Of course, she's gonna leave being grateful to be beaten up by Ashley Barty. That's how that works. That's what class means now. Do you know that? Class means is when someone smacks you around, you tell them thank you and you say, "Good job." I wish I could have smacked you around harder. You know, that seems to be the way that works.
I wish tennis would take that word class out of the conversation.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Because today, let me tell you something. When a player said no good, it's not classy. It's not classy. They're just really at because they're a fan of the game. They're just acknowledging that person did something really good at that point. They don't like that person. They want to beat that person anyway. So a classy, they would go home. Right? So today I saw Medvedev did, this was in the early 2 sets. And there was a comment. It is so, because I have ESPN Plus, I don't get to see Brad Gilbert and those, the usual ridiculous suspects until the last weekend. And I forget that they exist. And then I have to watch those matches, and then like, oh fuck, these people are still alive in here. They are horrible commentators. We need. That's what I want the next tennis Twitter campaign to be about. Get rid of these
Removing
people.
commentators. Yeah, I was looking at some of the commentators, and I don't know if this is ageist of me, but I feel like it's not necessarily ageist because I don't think they integrate the group very well with younger people anyway. So I think it's actually ageist in the reverse, which is they just don't seem to want to bring in any new and younger people into the mix. And people of color too, if you want to take that risk. Shonda can't carry it all, okay? That's all I'm saying.
And she don't cover the exclusive. She don't cover the big matches.
So you said you saw the men's doubles final.
I saw the men's doubles.
Quickly about that, and then head into the men's final.
What I thought was really interesting. So for all of the, I never trust Australia, right? And since 2000, when now I've been going on about Cathy Freeman, those people did not like Kokonakis and Kyrgios. They booed them from the beginning to the end. It was not even cute. And I mean, I get it. You were playing again, and it just didn't look right. First of all, Nick and Tanasi are not black. They are not black. Unless I missed something in class, they're not black.
Oh, so because of the pictures people are using to represent them?
Right. But they're nonetheless sons of immigrants, if I'm not mistaken. Sure. And then you had 2 white Australians that they were playing. This was, that Saturday night was a celebration of Australia. I would like to.
Yeah,
I would have hoped that it was, It was gonna be an Australian doubles champ, literally double champion, right? Danielle, I didn't think you ever even had a sniff of a chance, but anyway. And they just, on that good graces that they showed.
Reals, nobody's agreeing with you. They said they weren't booing.
They're saying no, they weren't booing. They were doing this Cristiano Ronaldo thing, and it's and it sounds like a boo, but it's not. That was established.
Yeah,
later.
That's what it was. That was the noise.
They were actually cheering them on quite a bit.
Yeah, they were. That's why I was like, what are you talking about booing?
It wasn't
booing. Because the sound, it's some sort of chant. I remember reading about it, that the chant is ridiculous because it sounds like boos.
It sounds like booing, but it's absolutely not booing.
But I think my only thing with the men's doubles, from the little that I did see, was the question of, first of all, who sits around and reads the ratings? Like that's literally what Nick spends his time doing, is reading the ratings for his match. Is this what people do? Like,
he's a sad figure. But I think
he's the Kanye of the tour. Whew.
Oh God, that's not even helpful.
A little bit of a genius, but wild.
I would say, as I was watching the match, I may stand corrected with this issue of booing, but I mean, like, okay, if y'all want to say that's not what it is, y'all probably watch more that than I did, but I did watch. But anyway, I think the difference for men's doubles, and I think we can talk about fitness.
You don't have to be fit. Rafa even said that once, and I hated that he said that, but you got to be truthful. He's
you don't have to be fit to be a regular on the tour.
Rafa, and he's like, "Oh, I can deal. I can play doubles."
But here's the difference I make with why these 2 boys ran through the doubles. Besides their attitude and whatever, I think one of the things I think Venus and Serena sort of showed is you cannot be on court being mad at your partner. You gotta let that shit go immediately. You just gotta, because you need them no matter what. Like, I know people talk about this one is doing all of the work, and we do tend to say that, but you need both of them. And I think what sort of happened here is that they did not have any negative energy. Even then, there were times when someone, like Nick was doing a little bit too much at times. Like, bitch, put this ball away. You flopped, like some stupid errors. But the most important fact I thought was the serve. This is why Serena and Venus be gathering everybody else. That most consistent double specialist cannot serve.
No, not like that.
They don't win.
We're looking at you, boo, with those BFs.
Exactly, right? Because he knows, like, it's a hope and a prayer he gets something special in. But he relies on Mahout to be being that solid server. And then he moves well, spectacular, like, he thinks outside of the box, which is what you need on the doubles court, right? You need that person who's seeing something that, no one else can see. And this is what makes the difference. And I hope that the men on tour, like, people like Sasha, I mean, here's a chance, Pooh. of just
He
getting
plays
that.
doubles, but I think I wouldn't have Sasha focus on doubles. I would say Nick and
Oh
Kokonaka
yes.
should focus on doubles. I mean, they don't seem to have the bodies that are
Nope.
constructed and built for singles.
Mm-mm.
So they
Mm-mm.
could go on a run. You know what? They
Well,
should decide to go for a calendar slam. Do it.
I don't think that, and I hate to say this with you know, I don't think they have. Well, the bodies might be it, right? That they don't think because they were not in shape. Kokonaka was still looking a little heavy, a little thick. I wasn't mad at that, but Nick is definitely wearing that undershirt to hide a little.
Well, yeah, I think they're both coming out of various injuries, right? And they're not necessarily
Not
capable
really,
of
Nick.
going
Nick
full
should have
hog.
been in better shape.
No,
Nick should
remember
be-
he was injured. He was injured in the summer. I mean, but he's
he's always
whatever he is.
injured, which
Yeah.
is and I mean I can't even use it as an excuse because my boy K is always injured and he don't be out here looking like that. So I'm just saying.
Kay's always fit, so that's just some
I
bodies
mean,
break like that.
maybe it's because K's too fit. Okay, Nick.
No, but I think what we're lobbying for is the doubles might be easier on your bodies, boys. Consider it, and you could go ahead and make money the whole year.
And you are
And you
bringing
can,
the crowd, apparently, according to that. Actually, one of the doubles guy, the one was wearing a mullet.
Yeah.
I forget his name. He said
What
it's the
was the
first time
fight?
he's ever.
What was the fight? But go ahead and finish your point before I want to hear about the fight that he got into with some doubles player.
He was saying that this was the first time he's played in front of this many people. And
I mean, the doubles people know they're usually playing against two people. Except
exactly. So I don't even know why they're mad.
People love doubles there.
No, because this is why you should be. Because here's the thing, double specialist. This is why you need Nick to be on your tour because maybe Danielle can advocate for more money and more publicity. Because let me tell you something, ATP barely be showing any clips of any doubles.
But I will say, it live in certain spaces, it's very popular, especially in places where people play. They
right.
watch
Yes.
the doubles matches. Cincy, they love it. Indian Wells, they love it. Miami, even I think I see people show up. So I don't know. Maybe
doubles matches are fun.
Yeah.
Doubles matches have a whole different dynamic, and they're just fun because tennis is such an individual sport. Especially if you don't watch doubles a lot, it's like watching something totally new. You get to watch the players interact on court, and oftentimes you get to see a lot more of their personality. So people enjoy it. I mean, I do. It's always a good time. Yeah.
So tell me, could you all explain to me these questions I see from reporters asking about ass grabbing and smacking and what's that about? What's going on with that? Is this a thing that we're asking?
I said no. Adriana said no. So it was funny because Ben Rothenberg says during the Kokonakis Kyrgios presser says, I don't remember which way it went. I think it was, does Nick touch your butt as much off court as he does on? And they both ran with it and said yes, maybe more. And then Kokonakis says to Ben, you like that, don't you? You like it, don't you, Ben?
Ben wanted a sandwich, I'm sure.
He didn't say a fucking word.
But
that's
I mean,
the way to deal with it. That's the way.
No, I know that, Pablo, I know that they were all Australian. That was my point. I thought that it was rather odd that I was hearing booing, but you people say it's not booing. I don't follow soccer that much, so I said.
Oh, Reels, take it from us. There was a whole discussion online about the sound. There's a whole thing. I'm just
No,
wow,
Pablo thought that I didn't know that they were all Australian. But I would say, yeah. Oh. I don't know if I want to say.
Listen, you know what? But I mean, I guess there's always a chance. Men are
Bennett, who addressed what on Twitter?
No, the sound, the booing sound, the sound of
no. I think subsequently Ben addressed the issue on Twitter. I don't know
which issue
about him asking the butt
smacking.
But that was
we
just
jumped.
Ooh.
It was just weird. That's all. I mean, granted, we heard a clip. I don't know what came before. I don't know what came after. There's always some context. However, that was weird.
Feel like a context.
It was weird.
No,
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying I don't know if there was more or some elaboration after that.
I
We
mean,
got a clip and it felt really weird.
this is sports, though. Men do this all the time. It's not an unusual
I
thing
mean,
that
it's
we've
one
never
of the
seen
few
before.
areas that men are allowed to touch each other in an official
Exactly.
way for
I mean,
them.
do y'all watch
At least.
football?
I mean, it's
Soccer
the only
or
way
I mean,
NFL?
that
in
they do
general.
it in a
So, I
heteronormative
mean,
state.
this is just
Basketball?
rather. Yeah. This is just That's
Reels, why are you stumbling over your words? What's going on? What's up with the question for you?
because I mean that's just really. I mean, my spidey senses say icky. That's the word I'm gonna use
Yeah,
because
because
I'm just like
if it was
it would
addressed
not
to a
have
woman,
been
it would be weird.
exactly had that been addressed to women, it would have
Mm-mm.
been a very
It would have
weird
been
and
real
we
weird.
would have been
Mm-mm.
talking about sexism. We would have been talking about all kind of things about the situation here, and it just I don't know if it's because it's men and because um, we don't deal with uncomfortable situations for men. These are the questions being asked. Yes, Pablo, I think the word is sleazy. Yes, sleazy is the word I would say. No matter however Ben wants to play it off later on in this matter, that if we had to take you seriously, which I don't, that was very unprofessional.
Ouch.
It's just absolutely unprofessional. Like,
I mean,
and
but
I guess you
it got
thought
him
that
the
you would be
attention he
quick.
wanted. So there you go.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. That was just weird. But anyways, you know what? I think
Moving on.
that all in all, good for Australia. You got Aussie. I mean, you were guaranteed an Aussie doubles champion, so that's pretty cool. Good for
Yep.
them. Good on Ash Barty. They've got lots of things to celebrate. I'm gonna tell you what I told you before we started. I think that and you did address a little bit of it. You've got two singles players come together who serve really well, and that puts them at an advantage for the beginning because that typically doesn't happen.
Yep.
And even if you have doubles players that serve really well, they don't serve that well like a singles player. But I just feel like the doubles people have got to be somewhat embarrassed that these two just decide we're going to play and they fucking win. They get the wild card to do this Grand Slam and they just go through and win. And then they're going to go their separate ways and they're probably not going to come back together and play doubles for a while or
I
ever.
mean,
We see that a lot.
I mean,
How
should.
long
They should do
they
it.
they
should, but that doesn't mean they will because we see this all the time when singles players get together. I think the only consistent team we have ever seen that I can think of off the top of my head are the Williams sisters. They're the only ones that have, but even they
in
take
recent memory, I would say, because back in the day it was a thing.
Yeah, it was very
but
much
for
a thing. And
what we're
Barbara
used to,
Siniakova. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
yeah,
don't
the
we just
Siniakova,
don't
that's a
see that.
single.
But we don't see it very much anymore. Two singles players consistently playing doubles and playing well. And like I said, even Venus and Serena, well, they've gotten to the point where they play so little that they're not much of a force anymore, and they're just old. But I don't know. I think it's got to be a little bit embarrassing.
I don't think so because you know what? I mean, I think you've already rationalized it right there why it's not because they don't do it consistently. It doesn't take much for you to get up and be excited about playing doubles in front of your home crowd and for a one-shot
right.
deal. But talk about showing up every day, day in and day out, playing both singles and doubles. They don't have the bandwidth for that.
Yep.
So of course you've got a bunch of energy. You've lost in the first round or the second round in Nick's case or something, and you have all this pent up energy. Where are you going to put it? Let's get
And
together,
there are
bro, and
few
do
people,
a tournament. It's
and there
one shot deal.
and there are few people who actually ever so often it happens on the women's side.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mladenovic, Kricheva now, and
Yep.
let me just say I was kind of right because Siniakova did win a major. Just that she win Australia Open. She just won the one she was supposed to win. Okay.
Yep.
She won the women's doubles with Kricheva and
Yeah, she did.
our favorite girl Kiki,
Yep.
the Kiki M. She won the mixed doubles with Ivan Dodic.
Well,
So
think of how much fun we had with like Stan and Roger were playing.
Well, those were fun. I mean, that's what made Indian Wells also really fun.
right, it allows them to do that because it's like
when
only
Rafa
three.
played with Marcos, like that was great. It was so fun.
Yeah,
but the schedule
it's nice,
allowed
but I
them
think it's
to
not. Yeah, it's all scheduling issues. Like five
Sure.
players.
I mean,
all
it's a lot of
kind
tennis. Yeah.
It's a ton of tennis. But I'm just saying one of the things is I don't think they should be embarrassed because it's a one-shot deal. It's
exactly.
easy enough to generate energy once or twice a year to do something really special.
Listen, I would be embarrassed if I was
Honey,
somebody that played doubles
if
day
you
in
talk about
and
embarrassed,
day
you talk about
out.
these people being embarrassed, letting some guy who just had COVID and a knee surgery get you a damn slam.
Thank you. Exactly.
Oh, shit. All right, let's
was
roll.
it.
Let's do it.
Because here's the
Let's
thing.
go.
They weren't taking care of their job because that's just the thing. Because they were allowing them to be in on every service.
I mean, but to Janina's point, I will say this, Janina. I don't know if they're embarrassed, but they do get pissed. I could tell the doubles specialists be hating it when it happens.
I would be pissed because this is my job, and you have just proven to me out of nowhere that I'm not very fucking good at it.
But they have tried so many ways to stop the Williams sisters. They've not seeded them. They've seeded them. They have pushed them to the side. But it just
and you know what's stopping them?
That's another thing.
Their bodies. When they roll up. But I'm just simply saying,
Pablo just said something in the chat too. Financially, these doubles players don't get a lot of money anyways. And then you got these singles players who are fucking millionaires come in and take their little bit of chump change
really
at the tournament.
He got that money?
I believe he does. Kokonaka's probably not so much. I'm sure Nick has millions, at least 2. He's won some tournaments. I'm sure he does.
No. I'm sure he's made some money.
But and then they just come in and they swipe up this little few $100,000 that these guys might have made to set them on the right course for the year.
Them. That's my point.
They can't, and that's my point.
That's what I liked about the doubles. You came off of that coat and didn't talk about good job, boys. You got real salty. So that the next time you see these bitches,
you're right.
You see them, you gonna trip them, you gonna get them. Okay? I bet you this team ain't gonna win again. I'm just saying. But anyway, on to the men's finals that I did watch.
Y'all get started. I'm getting a coffee refill. I got shit to say.
You know how I feel. I don't want these people to win another major. I just don't.
And I wanted them to nobody. He doesn't want Novak. He doesn't want Roger. He doesn't want any of them.
I don't want any of them to win a major. It's just really, it doesn't add anything to the conversation. It doesn't. Not anymore. Not at this point. It is what it is, right? They're winning, and that I can't stop, right? It's not like a thing, and they shouldn't. I think we've talked about, like I know Jenny is gonna be like, we don't have permission to retire anyone, and that might be so. And, I think we've talked about the fact that, look, we just said it on the women's side, right? Ash, you're going to be winning these things if these girls are not showing up. And these boys are not showing up. But this is just yet another generation of players that these 3 men, are just going to just put the fuck over this tennis. And just
but you know what? I think they're not. I think, listen, the most fortunate thing about this is that these guys are old, okay? Like, I think Rafa, I think is legitimately probably going to be on tour for another year or so. And I think Fed likely probably not. The only one they're going to be fighting is Novak. I don't think that you're going to have the blockage that you've had with these 3. I don't think they're going to ruin that generation. This generation, like they ruined the K generation and all
and
of
the Monfils. I get what you're saying. They don't have that trifecta in that spot, right?
They won't have the trifecta, and they've simply just aged out. They're going to age out, and so I don't think you're going to have the darkness that you had on that side in the sense of like blanketing people's careers and blunting it. Which is why I know when people are like, "Oh my God, this is, the window for Sasha's closing." I was like, "Not really.
It's really just opening."
It is just opening. And look what happened to Dominic Thiem. That's been my pet theory, was that Dominic Thiem did the heavy lifting for these boys and ruined his body such that when
but he's older though, and I think Medvedev said that. I didn't realize he's he's nearly 30.
He's a little bit older, but that's what I mean. He's the one
that got caught in the Rafa Novak Federer triangle that nobody could bust, and he killed himself doing it.
And now, let me tell you something. And everybody's like, "Oh, you should try to win a slam when these guys are around." I never understood that. You play who you want to play in your generation.
Rafa first slam was Mariana Puerta.
Exactly. Although I will say
that one in that 21, aren't you?
Yeah, you got it. So I'm like, do not worry about who you have to beat to win slams once the big 3 goes. The big 3 has cast an entirely too omnipresent shadow on the side. Everyone is going to be fine once you get rid of these 3.
To your point, though, Andreen, everybody also wants their win against someone whose name is Djokovic, Nadal, Federer. They all want that, whether they want to say it out loud or not. I think that's why that conversation is even a thing. I agree with you 100%. You win, you win. A slam is a slam. A win is a win. But when you are coming through a sport with these greats, you want that Federer win. You want to say, I beat Novak. You want to say, I beat Rafa. They all want that shit. They absolutely want it.
I mean, they do, but you don't have to build a legacy on it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's my thing. It's like, you're not going to build a legacy on it because you're simply not going to meet them when
exactly
you're
what everyone is going to say, that you beat an old person.
Yeah, I mean, I am. Let me tell you right now. I think Medvedev, if anybody should be embarrassed, it's Medvedev. Medvedev should be embarrassed by being
Medvedev should have won that match in three sets.
Three sets.
In three sets.
But you know what?
He had it, and he got in his own head.
No, you know what happened? This is my theory. Because I woke up in the third set. Because who knows? I figured this match was going to go 4. So I was like, it's time to wake up after the second set. I was watching Medvedev. Medvedev believed the okie dokie. Medvedev was like, I think Rafa really is tired. I don't think he's 100%.
Hey,
let me start mixing it up. Let me take the breaks off. He lost his way mentally. He got that weird casualness where it feels like now I'm realizing that it was probably some weird defensive response to the crowd, I guess. But I was like, no strategy in the third set.
Nope.
What was the strategy there? Like, literally disappeared. And I forgave him for that. Because, like, okay, the casualness with which he lost his serve towards the end of that set, ridiculous choices. Like, okay, the drop shot's not working. Put it away, baby. Put it away. I don't know. Did your coach tell you to bring it out? What was going on there? So that was really weird.
And that must have been so hard for that man. Oh,
to watch.
To watch basically 2 matches and 2 different persons that you've coached. Like, I mean, that was because, I mean, let me tell you something. The second set, Medvedev pickpocket that shit from Nadal. It was like watching him play Rublev. It was like watching him play Rublev. I am going to fuck with your mind. Like, no lead is safe at all in this set. Like that tie break. I mean, Rafa what? Rafa was supposed to have that set earlier at 6-3. Rafa was up 4-1. And Medvedev took it. And he was just like, okay, here was a guy who really believed that, you know, like, this is something I wanted. I am going to do this. This is not going to be the US Open anymore, where I got lost in the first 2 sets. And then by the time I figured my way out in dealing with the situation, I got in the 5th set and no energy and whatever. And again, even in the 5th set of the US Open, you
could tell even in the 5th set. Like, I think in the 5th set, he shifted mentally back again. He sort of regrounded himself. His serve was
it was too late though.
But it was too late by then, because by then Rafa's self-belief and that listen, there's nothing like playing someone who doesn't know if they're going to get back here. They're going to throw everything at you. That energy was right there, and so I could tell that he had the ability to break Rafa, which it seemed like he had lost in the 3rd and the 4th set. But by the 5th set, it was like, honey, too late. You
because everything feel like, and that was funny because in the first 2 sets, particularly in the second set, he made Rafa felt like if he had to go for everything and anything, and that was heavy and that was too much. And then he became the person, despite being up 2 sets, who retreated and became like really defensive and wasn't sure if anything was going to work.
Weird. I'm like, why would you retreat from a strategy that was successful? Like, that's when I was like, if I were a different kind of person, I would assume he had placed a bet and wanted to lose and win or something. It's just weird.
Listen, like, what? Let's talk about what really happened. Seriously.
So what? What really?
He fucking choked. He choked. He absolutely choked. He was in a winning position. He should have won that pretty easily in 3, even though the first 2 sets, I'm not going to say they were easy. There were some long, hard rallies, but he was coming out on top. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Rafa was not tired. Rafa was getting beat and he was getting outplayed and he didn't know what to do. So the Twitter police were like, oh my God, he's tired. Rafa don't get tired. Rafa practices like he's in a match. That man is fit as fuck. He is probably
and he wouldn't have showed up here unless he thought he was going to win.
He is fitter than anybody on tour. He goes full out every single time he steps on the court, including practice. I don't want to hear anybody tell me that man was tired. He is not fucking tired. I don't think he gets tired. He's probably not tired now. He wasn't tired. Medvedev choked. He essentially told us that he choked without saying he choked in that long, very revealing statement he made in the press.
Are we thinking that Medvedev? Because I started thinking about it. I was like, Medvedev pulled a Stefanos Tsitsipas. he pulled the same thing that happened at RG. So I hope he doesn't go I hope he doesn't lose his way.
I think Medvedev got a little tired at the end. I think he started playing some lazy shots, but I think he lost that belief. He needed to do that quicker than 5. If he would have won that in 5, he would have been lucky. Not probably because he was still outplaying Rafa, because he was the better player for the first two sets. Hands down, no questions asked. This is what I said.
But this is how it works with Rafa, though. You always have to do that. You have to be
right.
You absolutely do. Early. But you can't lose your self-belief. And he clearly lost it. He gave Rafa an inch and he took 10 miles. You cannot do that with Rafael Nadal. How do you lose your
self-confidence after going up 2 sets?
Well, he told us. He said, I have always had a problem with believing I don't belong, and that crept into my head today, and he fucking lost it. And I'm glad, I am so happy that he said that, because I feel like this is probably a very common thought when you're playing Rafa, Roger, Novak. I think that people don't believe that they truly belong on court with them, no matter what kind of career they've had, no matter how many wins they've had, no matter how successful their tournament or season has been. I think that there is some self-doubt when you get on court with certain people. Sure. And even when you're winning, you're like, oh shit, how long is this going to last? And he allowed himself to think about it a little bit too long. And when he started thinking about that, Rafa did raise his game. Rafa did adjust and started playing better, but Medvedev was still winning. He was still winning. He started thinking about it.
But Rafa himself had his own anxiety. This is the thing I never understand with these people.
But Rafa is a much more seasoned champion, and he knows how to go get that shit out of my head.
I know, but he also has the same issue, which is that he has also choked in these 5-setters at the Australian Open. So he also has his own trigger. So to my mind, I don't understand. This is the thing. I get it. Like, each person has their aura, blah, blah, blah. But you just beat Novak Djokovic, who would have treated this Rafa like a snack. Okay? You just
in straight sets too. You made that man cry. No one has made him cry.
Exactly. Like a big old baby. He cried. I love this.
God, I loved it.
I know. And then you look across and you're doing the same thing to Rafa and you stop? Like that.
Yeah, it's fucked up and it's not fun. And I didn't like watching it. Hence why I went back to sleep in the 5th set. Because Danielle's body language said it all. He resigned. But
he resigned. I'd say he resigned through the 3rd and got a little confused in the 4th, but I think he was better dialed in the 5th.
Yeah, but it was too late. It was too late.
You
can't stop a freight train going full force.
Exactly.
Well, especially with that desperation.
Exactly, because I thought that because in the way in which, and that's just the thing, right? That in the other matches where he looked like he had lost his way, he could calibrate, and he was
that was the expectation. Yeah,
you know what I mean. But he wasn't playing someone anyway close to because no one else has a resume close to these dude. There is no one on tour who has a major besides these 3 people, and like 2 others.
I think. Listen, I get it. I get that. I guess to Pablo's point that it was like a fine margin. See, I don't think it was. I don't want to say that. Yes, Rafa raised his level in the 3rd and the 4th set for sure. But there were break points where Medvedev played points and Rafa was nowhere close to getting it.
Exactly.
It was his own self-destruction.
Yeah.
It was incredible to watch.
Danielle lost that match. Rafa didn't win it per se. He really didn't. Danielle let that go. He let it go. And I hope that he learns something big. I hope that what he said... I hope
Go
that
ahead,
what
Tony.
he said in his presser, that, you know what, I'm done with that. And I realized that it happened. And now I'm playing for me. I hope he can translate that on court.
What was he playing
Because,
for before?
well, he
I
said
don't know.
he was letting himself be too much in the moment of what's actually happening instead of just playing his tennis. And I think that that is probably something that happens with lots of athletes.
Well, it's not
Lots
just
of them.
athletes. It's lots of these people because it's the same thing that happened with Stefanos Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas, which is what it is. Tsitsipas, you are winning, and then you realize, oh my God, I'm winning,
I'm winning.
and
This
then
is
that was it.
precisely why we will never have a non-5-set major. It's precisely why. Let me tell you
Well, not to
something.
mention the fact that Rafa knows he ain't never winning the Australian Open again. He hasn't
And
won it since
Listen,
2007. He was
wasn't
going to
supposed to
fucking
win it
roll.
this time, so
towards
I don't know why
2000,
he can't come back next week and win it next. Why can't he come back
exactly.
next year and win
And
it?
this
He's
is
not.
why I'm
He
so
does, because
mad.
he
This
historically
is why
plays
I'm so
poor
mad.
there. He knows he was
Because
lucky.
what I want to happen, Hubert Hurkash, let me tell you something. It's on site. I see you in these streets, I am tripping you over. But as
Yeah,
a
he's the one that
practical
Sorry,
fell apart
person,
in that
2009,
draw.
Jasmine.
as a practical person, the end of the day is that you let Federer know, and everybody been sending signal to Federer. Maybe Federer is 5 years older. That is true, right? And so it's easier to go after Federer. And his game is not one of those. Federer is never going to beat you off of a court in this. He doesn't destroy you in that sense, right? Maybe psychologically. And maybe it's easier to get into Federer's thing because Federer's game right about now is on fine margin, right? But Hubbard, Hurkash, and everybody else when Federer been playing, the warming up at the French is just like, sir, you might not want to keep on considering a career being a tennis player, right? Like, send that signal across the net. We're coming for you. What I see, like Chapeau and all these people, just like, you get to a winning position and then you just relinquish. You just say, it's been happening too often. Like, you can't tell me that these, like, not Federer, because Federer again is older, but Djokovic and Rafa, you're letting these people roll up into this tournament and thinking, oh my God, I could really win this thing. Now tell me why Rafa can't think that he can't win the next 3 majors.
Not the
What
way
is
these
really
boys played
like
him.
who on to?
Basic.
I mean, look, I
Basic.
know he's going to be advocating for there to be a vaccine mandate at the majors. Like, there is no doubt he's going to be secretly whispering to somebody, right? He got that pull at RG. So, I mean, Nola,
Let
you
me
better
tell you right now, Novak Djokovic is going to get his arm stuck or he's going to figure out something else. There is no way that the competitive beast that Nole is, and he better be, that he's going to sit around and think that these kids are going to protect his numbers. There's no way. He's not going to leave it to them. He's going to have to show up and take care of business.
Pablo, I don't know why y'all keep talking about Rafa's body is about to crumble. I don't know
His body is never crumbled, honey. It's
which
never
body are you people talking about?
Did you see him? The only thing crumbling on Rafa is that fucking hair.
Thank you. And this is why Rafa fan gets me annoyed.
Listen,
it's because you people
thing.
keep
Real,
talking about
what's going on. Wait, you know that Rafa's body is fine margins. Because this is the thing, right? This is why, to me, the 2017 is still better. But remember, when Fed was down a break, I was telling a friend earlier, when Fed was down a break in the 5th set in 2017, what did Fed say? Fed said, okay, you know what? I may have to be on the couch for the next couple weeks, but I'm just going to have to go hard, right? Yep. And that's when I realized that that's exactly what Rafa does. Rafa will destroy his body, and he asks you to do the same thing. He asks you to do it in that 5th set. He demands that you do it. And I think for a long time, Federer was never willing to destroy his body like that. He just never was. But when he was there, that match, he said it. He says, you know what? Okay, go as hard as you can, because you know what? You can just sit and rest later, and who knows? And I think that is why people have the perception that Rafa's body is actually fragile. It's actually not fragile.
Rafa's body is a fucking machine.
Yeah, it's a machine.
No,
it's a machine. Yes, he pushes it to the limit.
It's a well-oiled machine.
But it never. But first and foremost, that body rarely falters at RG. Never does.
Never.
Maybe that risk issue 1 year. That was about it.
Let me no.
But like, so this is not somebody. I think this mentality that like, oh my gosh, Rafa is so fragile, he might not win. Da, da, da. And we're the ones that are always telling you he will be winning. He will be winning because he will break his body for the win, and it feels like it won't even be broken.
It won't be a body issue. It will be that someone came out there and either out Rafa, or
generally when that happens, like the Soderling, not even out Rafa, he just beats him off the court. But like,
and
I mean, I just think that
it's tennis. He is losing by the tennis. Okay, the same thing with Federer is that he expected he was going to do the same rope-a-dope, right? Go after that backhand, but Federer went after his backhand, and Federer overcame that thing that he never wanted to do, right?
Yep.
Hit through that backhand. Yep. Go for it. You might miss it. Go for it. Do not give him this shit, right? And the match sort of told that, right? When Federer stepped up to the plate, because the match wasn't like this, right? It wasn't like Rafael one match, one said, you know what I mean? It was very up and down, and Federer outlasted. This wasn't the same thing here. I just look. I think someone said
the delicacy thing. We all need to stop with the Rafa's body cannot be perceived as this delicate thing.
Exactly, it's not.
It isn't.
It cannot.
It breaks when you think it should.
It cannot. You cannot win 14 French Open. You cannot win 14 French Open, and every time you step up on the Teabatu in Paris, you are the favorite. That no one has,
and you're barely losing sets. Come on,
I'm barely losing sets. How many? You have 14, and a fragile body is winning 14 French Opens. 14?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. So when you are doing this, I think the thing you have to understand is once you get into a fifth set, that's where Rafa wants you.
Exactly.
Because that's where he's willing to put his body on the line. And by the time, that's why everybody's like, get it in 4, boo. Get it in 4. Because the plan is to get it to 5. Because Rafa trusts this is the thing that cracks me up. Because everybody's like, oh my God, his body. But Rafa trusts his body more than you do. Rafa trusts his body more. So how does a fragile body gets trusted like that?
He ain't fragile.
It ain't fragile.
Exactly.
He trusts it not to break.
He knows. You know what he did to Danielle afterwards? He patted Danielle on the leg as Danielle is sitting there because they said, boo, you tried.
Like,
but not with this machine.
And I'm
not
fine.
With this machine.
And not also the same thing that Novak said, right? That's what Novak said about the French. Novak said, get me into a fifth set. I still got lots to go. And that's why he can go toe-to-toe with Rafa. Because they're willing to go to a fifth set. And I love it because Nole is like, you want to go 5? I'm going to go 7. You want to go 10?
Exactly. And that's the other thing because as you all are talking about the fragile body for Rafa, Nole and Rafa are the same age. You are not talking about. So I don't understand how you could say Rafa's body is fragile when you believe Nole is a juggernaut.
I know. So I want the players to stop being naive in these matches when they see a little bit of faltering from Rafa. Do not buy that. Do not buy that and lose your concentration, which is, I'm sure, what happened to Chapo and why he got pissed off. Because it was like, oh no, honey.
And stop getting into the clock situation. Listen to me.
It's dumb.
If y'all are not going to really be, because not only what I want y'all to do is to deal with that shit before it even gets on the court.
I know it's hard to do it when it's the middle of like a dangerous moment. The umpire's not going to change gears then. It just looks silly. It looks like you're sour grapes. But I mean, so to the extent that we're talking about people who should be embarrassed, I don't think the doubles team should be embarrassed that they lost to 2 single guys who decided to go out there. I think
just serve better, booze. Should
have a moment of reflection, as he said in his presser. But also, it's interesting that you took that from it, Janina, because what I also took from it was, I thought it was also an indictment of the press.
Yep. Yes.
What Medvedev said, you mean?
Yeah. Yes. And the way that and the way that they're actually cheerleaders for the top 3, and the way that they meter everything through the top 3. So therefore, there's no space for these players to feel like they're even communicating anything out there, that they're even having a chance out there, which is true. Like, I literally, whenever I watch and listen to my sister always says to me, she's like, do you not like the commentators? Or do you not like the sound of the ball? Why is it so low? I was like, I just don't want to hear them talking. like when they are commentating a match, they never talk about what the other opponent can do to move the needle in the match. The presumption is that it's always on the big three's racket. And even when the big three is down, the presumption is that it's still on their racket, which of course is maybe true. But I think it actually does a disservice if you're even just a general watcher of a tennis match, because then you're not learning to appreciate what the opponent is bringing to the table.
Right, and it always feels like Medvedev and the others got lucky.
Yeah,
that they got lucky in that moment, that it wasn't that they possess that ability to even be anywhere close to even being as good or even better than these players. Because I think how the conversation is going, this is why I hate this gold conversation and whatever,
I know,
is that these three men are the end all to all of tennis. That tennis can never produce anything or be anything more than these three men. This is why I want them to go home, because I want them to concede the space and the things that tennis, the changes that tennis need to make, they have to be the ones to push it.
No, I mean, it's hard. It's really hard.
But it's going to be hard because these players, I mean, like, I know these, they can't get any quarter anyway, right? The press is going to drag them. They're going to say how they're uncool. I mean, I don't know how y'all out here dragging any of these players for being rude and disrespectful for umpires. And y'all got John McEnroe as your colleague.
I know.
John McEnroe is your colleague. You people protect him, rally around him. So Medvedev is going to sit.
It was weird. I thought the whole thing was really weird.
Anyway,
but I mean, listen.
Let's move on. I know we don't have.
Congratulations to Rafa on winning 21.
You can do all of that. You can do all of that. Do all of that.
She is.
I'm going to listen. I have to congratulate Rafa's fans. I am bitter about it. I wanted Danielle Medvedev to win number 2, because I think it would have been a nice journey. Hey, we could have been watching. Holding all 4 slams at once again. But no, we have to do the who's gonna end the year with the most. We already know Novak.
And we're gonna have to deal with the conversation that Rafa can legitimately, we're gonna say, win the French Open, and the calendar Grand Slam bullshit conversation. So because Daniel had won this, we didn't think he was gonna do anything at the French, right?
Exactly.
So I just want to, I have to say that I am really impressed, Andreen, with your belief that Novak is going to be here for all the rest of these slams. Listen, I am not convinced. I really am not convinced.
I think, let me tell you something.
Principles
go to the side. Novak is not going to watch these kids clear the road for Rafa.
Well, let me say,
no way.
This is what I'm
just about his principles.
This is what I mean when I say that. I don't think he's going to find a loophole to be able to play being unvaccinated. He may go ahead and get vaccinated and then come and play, but I think that's the
vaccination though.
Listen,
he may fake it. I think he comes up with some way to make us believe that he's vaccinated. I don't think that he's.
You think Novak won't? You think Novak's value system is so strongly anti-vax that he will literally not get vaccinated to fix this thing that you all have messed up?
I think that he has a very different way of thinking that I can't quite understand. I don't take the time really to try, to be honest, but I feel like I've picked up enough over the years. I really don't know that he's going to be like, I want to play, so I guess I got to get vaccinated.
Girl, this boy faked I don't know that he does whole COVID test to come to Melbourne.
And it didn't. Yeah.
He literally caused an international incident. Because he did not even want to. And really and truly, he did not want to isolate. He didn't want to quarantine.
Yeah, that's why I don't think because I think, listen, I don't think he even absolutely has to be vaccinated. And I think there are quarantine rules that he would be required to fulfill, but then he doesn't have to it's not like he has to go to Australia weeks and weeks ahead. He's still going to be just in Europe. So I think it makes.
And he lives in France, technically in Monaco.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't
we'll
really
see.
I think that he will find a way And like, I mean, my sense of it is that I think the point was if you came into the country isolated and did what you needed, you could still play.
Yeah.
So as long as you're getting tested. So I don't listen. There is absolutely no way. I don't know how he's
Because
going
who can
to do
stop
it,
Rafa at the French but Nole?
but Nole.
Who can?
I don't trust any of these kids. And so and Nole has to like himself up against Rafa because he also noticed that Rafa was not the Rafa of old. So
Nope.
he knows that this guy's beatable. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's
because Rafa was not blowing Medvedev off the court.
No. I
He
mean,
was not.
Medvedev was being
Blowing
very
himself
helpful.
off the court.
So I just think that I don't know. I would be shocked.
We'll have to wait and see, you know.
I
But
mean,
I'm not convinced that he's going to run out there and get a vaccine.
He may not get the vaccine. Yeah, you're right. That may be a bridge too far.
I don't think he's going to get the vaccine because of that dodgy bullshit investment he's made. Right? On a principal note, I don't think he's going to do that. But Nole is a rich white man, and as you can see, we have been willing. Australia was willing to bend itself over backwards to concede and give him the opportunity to get things right. But hubris, arrogance, and everything got in Nole's way, right?
So now he just knows to stay off.
Nole literally got his own country to fake a COVID test for him.
Supposedly, possibly.
Not supposedly.
We have no proof just yet. Stop it.
Yeah, that was not said anywhere. That was just a conjecture.
Okay. Allegedly, if y'all want to put it this, but it's wink wink allegedly for me, yeah, because I don't know how you could seek an exemption on the 10th and then not what is the medical exemption for?
I know.
I mean,
we get all that. We've been through this, but
you're playing with language. Australia was not, therefore they sent him going. Something was going on between all of them for it all to get.
I mean, if Australia was not willing to play, you would not have convened the High Court for the weekend. You wouldn't have just snapped that thing and let him go. We wouldn't have, because you did that for the other girl.
Yeah,
you did that. I mean, Melbourne was not trying to. Tennis Australia was not trying to hold a principled point about keeping players in Melbourne to play as best as they could. They wanted to bring Nole in. And this is the other thing I think goes back to Andrine's point about how the media has just conceded to these three guys. That somehow no one is talking about an asterisk now for Rafa winning, right? But we were going to talk about an asterisk for Danielle if he had won the Australian Open.
I know.
So
when there's no way Novak would have let Rafa grab this title. But I mean, you win what you win.
It's just, So
win is a win. So my final point on the Australian Open was that I promised to drag somebody, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Who are you dragging?
True story. I don't even know his full Twitter handle, but I know that a lot of people follow him. Corbin, Dr. Something on Twitter, said that all these people are ragging on Rafa's hair, but no one ever says anything about Danielle's hairline. And I just have to say, my response to that tweet was that, Danielle has always looked like this. This isn't new for him. And Rafa used to have shampoo commercial worthy hair that has slowly over time just dissipated. And it looks really, really bad. It looks so bad. It looks like some child who just went after the doll head with a brush and ripped that shit out piece by piece, plug by plug. That's what it looks like. And Rafa's not a bad looking man, but that's a bad look. And I really, really just hope and pray that he will fix that. He did do a comb over during his presser. So that was, he tried.
Shave it.
He needs to shave it off. Yeah. He needs to shave it off. Like, or he needs to hook up with Agassi and find a good wig man. Corbin, you know this to be true. Stop.
I'm just saying the only reason why we can drag Rafa, one, because we have seen Rafa in living memory. Tennis wasn't invented in 2011. Secondly, the reason why we can talk about Rafa is because we can count it. We can literally count the follicle.
Okay, there's 5. No, honestly though. So Vogue wanted to congratulate Rafa. I was like, Vogue, why are you using a picture of Rafa from his teens? Who's gonna know who this is anymore?
I mean, it does look. And my favorite part for Rafa is that he has a headband to keep the hair back together. Boo, sir.
Shave it like
Shave it,
Reno.
girl.
I think
Shave
it brings
it,
up a whole
shave it.
different look. I don't know. I don't know what is. I don't know what he.
You can shave it and get tattoo skin. And in fairness, Danielle got some bangings going on.
He's
but
got
you know
a
what?
weird shaped head and his hair's a hot
got
mess.
time.
But that's always been his thing. This isn't new. He's not trying to hide nothing.
And I'm
Rafa's
just
trying to
simply
hide
saying,
that big bald spot on the top of his head. And we need to let that shit go.
We also need to talk about.
We need to let it go. That's it.
We need to talk about Nick too. Nick got Beijing powder all over his head. He is sweating black down. Girl.
Pretty soon he's going to be looking like Rudy Giuliani sweating in the press conference, shit running down his face.
I mean, Nicholas, girl. Like, I'm looking at you. You look like a fucking onion. Like, why?
Y'all, we gotta go. Stop it. And wrap this shit up.
You could literally see the black, like a shoe polish on the look. I always thought Nick was a psycho because Nick gets a fresh haircut every day. Like every day. And girl, no. Either you tattoo that shit. That ain't cute, boo. That ain't cute. You're a young man.
Let these boys do what they need to do to deal with their hair trauma.
All right. It's been a great tournament.
It's fine. It was fine. It was fine.
Anyway, young people, to tennis players.
I know y'all watch for it, but we did all of that work to get rid of Nole only to give the slam to Rafa.
Oh my God. You know what?
Don't do that again.
You know what? Honestly, I'm fucking fine with it. I'm a fan of history. Rafa's got something to say that nobody else got. Good for him.
There is nothing historical.
There's nothing.
Yes, there is
about it.
People,
nothing good.
This is why.
Y'all
this is why we're in the kind of the mess that we're in, but this is just a capitalist urge. This is a capitalist urge.
What's the history? No, what's
the 21 slams. That's a big fucking deal.
Nole's going to take care of that in 3 months.
That's fine, but right now it's Rafa's. Let him have his moments.
No, I refuse to let Rafa have any moment.
Look, sometimes we need to scorch the earth. We need to let fresh vegetables grow. Okay, we need freshness in this. These men are not bringing anything new to the conversation, whether it's about tennis, what they're doing in my mind, and nobody wants to have that conversation, is that they're asking questions. They're asking questions that nobody wants to answer because this feels like that summer of great baseball bullshit.
Sam Sosa
and Matt McGuire.
To goodness, that's what they're forcing the 3 guys to do, though. They're forcing the 3 guys to keep competing and pushing their bodies to the end because they don't have anything else on offer. That's really what it is. They have nothing else on offer. There's nobody. The cool thing is, this is what I thought. I was hoping we'd be stuck at 20, and then the other kids can start their own damn race of whatever the heck they're doing. It'd be like, is it Stefano's time? Is it this time?
Because it feels like if one is not even enough for these players, right? That these boys can't even get to a finals, can't even get to one.
Hey, that's on them.
Not enough.
That's on them. Listen, we just got done talking about how a win is a win, and it doesn't really matter who you play. You just got to play and you got to win. So let Rafa have his damn win.
No, I'm sorry.
We're not going to do that. Listen, nobody gets to have their damn win if you're the big 3. The big 3 are the only. No, it's true. That's the standard they set. That's the standard that they set. They're the ones that calculate against each other. I don't care what the others do, but they
because what does it really mean?
Who they beat. That's what they do.
So what do we say? So what do we say that Rafa now has 21, Roger has 20, and Novak has 20? What does that mean? Rafa is
absolutely nothing
that Rafa is marginally better than the other 2. Is that what that really means?
No,
because
not anymore.
Because here's the thing.
Before it used to.
Because Divadal would tell us, had he not been here and Roger not been here, he would have said the next time they get a mic in front of him, "Oh, congratulations to Nole," but Roger wasn't there.
You weren't here,
and I weren't there. He would have put an asterisk to that. I mean,
he did that.
Roll the tape.
I'm gonna give it to the Nole fans. You're right, boo. This was a gift from Nole.
We should have canceled this shit. We should have canceled this shit.
I'm just saying.
If y'all had told me,
wink, wink.
Y'all are crazy.
Exactly. If y'all had told me that Rafa was going to win this shit, I would have been there with you all, trying to close down Melbourne. But y'all didn't say that. Y'all did not say that. So I'm gonna need y'all to put down the charts, and I'm gonna need y'all to put clearly.
Rafa fans don't make charts. They just put on pretty pictures. They don't make charts. They put on pretty pictures of Rafa.
Pretty old pictures.
I mean, I put up a pretty rough or a Roger picture, and y'all dragged me.
Yeah, that was kind of shady. Picture. I mean, it is what it is. But, it is kind of shady.
I do like how they had the 21 shirt ready. It's cute, y'all. It's cute. It's cute.
Stop acting like they are doing something for somebody that you didn't like, that they do stuff for people that you do like. If this was Roger Federer holding up that trophy today, you would be talking about how
I would have been mad. I would have been mad.
You might have been, but Andrew would have been dancing in the streets.
I would have been happy, but no.
I know.
No, exactly. Of course. But
Tony, you always have your Rafa gear on. Don't act like today was special.
No, I don't buy. No. I don't buy Federer gear. I'm not buying any of those damn shirts. That shirt's gonna be old in 2 days.
You wearing pum pum shorts? Tony, you're gonna need to see pictures. You are wearing pum pum shorts. Tony.
I got pictures of Tony in his shorts today. Should I share it?
Tony, my DMs are open. Okay, boo. I'll put it on the timeline.
That's because, let
the world see Tony
Janina doesn't care about a match once it's over. Janina watches the match and then she is done. Okay, but you're right, Pablo. The moral of the story is, Nole, if you had been vaxxed, we would not be here. Okay.
Yeah, we would.
So I know that people will come for me, but Nole, it doesn't mean anything if you're not here.
Oh,
okay.
Shit.
I know it's not like Indian Wells when they had a whole set of tournaments without the number one American. I'm just telling you.
All right. Like all right.
It's not like Indian Wells when they're like, Serena's not here.
To roll out.
This all matters.
Anyway,
I'm
fans,
just telling you.
You got like 4 solid, you got 4 sexy, amazing podcasts for us early in the year. We're gonna do well to try to get back to you.
We'll be back soon.
Use for the podcast is Tony in his Rafa Pum Pum shorts. So please send that picture and we'll use it as the headline picture for this.
Oh my God, he would die.
I'm just saying, bring it.
Tony.
I might lose a friend. I'm not going to do that to Tony.
Just picture this, right? You in the Pum Pum shorts, and the title said, "We came to bury Danielle."
Goodbye.
I mean, come on. You're Rafa Pum Pum shorts, Tony. That's it.
No, but you know what? Let me bring it back because I am bitter and I'm a salty loser, but I'm over it now. Congratulations to Rafa, because you know why? I'll tell you why, and it comes right back to Federer. This is just going to affirm to Federer that he still has a shot.
And I am annoyed by that. I want Federer to be at home. But I mean, granted, I don't want Federer to go home to her cash and got that bagel, right? Because her cash
I need a better
on
image.
site for you and I.
Listen, I'll be real clear. I think Rafa's win is going to be super inspiring to Fed. I think it's going to be super inspiring to Andy Murray. I think it's going to be super inspiring
to stay at home and play Basil and go to Serena Williams. Okay?
All of them. I think they're all going to have a good time. Like going, maybe Lord, able to have one more dance. Listen, don't you want that to be Rafa's final memory? If he loses, like not the memory that he had of RG, which was really bad, which was that spanking that Nole gave him. If he leaves today, it's a good memory. That's all I want.
Jasmine, what is wrong with the old heads getting wins? It's like you're the old boss never promoting you. It's like they're keeping all of the money. And they keep getting the young people to do all the work.
Fucking do better.
That's true, though. If you keep letting them win,
I mean, granted, that is a point. That is a point.
No, that's the point. The point is, you know what? If you want them gone, you have to start punishing them. These guys will not stick around if they start losing in the second and the third round.
Yep.
They will not.
They'll be gone.
They'll be gone. It's true.
So play better.
Don't want them around.
And win. And yes, Tony, Janina is ready to roll.
Yes, go roll. Go roll, Janina.
Tony, you still have to send the Pum Pum Shots picture. Don't think we've forgotten. Alrighty, ladies. So we had a wonderful time. We will be back with some news later on in the next few weeks. There's some interesting stories that have been developing. Only we can, decipher them and give them our own twist. So we will be back, and thank you for joining us for this Melbourne. This was not how I wanted it to end, but you know what? Good on you, Kiki. I'm going to say congratulations to Kiki for mixed doubles with Ivan Dodage. And congratulations to Kricheva and Siniakova, because you made my Australian Open.
All right.
Aww, I know. Coco, get it together, girl. That's all I'm saying. Get it together.
Cocoa, all manner of magical things that happen in Antoa, and you're not part of the magic Cocoa Puff. Come on, girl.
It's driving me nuts. It is. All right, y'all. I know we gotta go, but it has been lovely, y'all. This has been great. This is like a flashback to when we used to do this more regularly.
I know, right?
Really
I miss us. I miss us. And
I
you
miss
ladies.
us. I miss you all.
Janina,
online.
it's time you put your child up for adoption and get up with this hockey business. Like,
all I'm saying
on that note, I'm off to hockey.
He is off to hockey. I'm just saying that it seems to me that we should all congregate the U.S. Open because it's going to be a battle royale by the end of the year.
Not in that humidity, people. Not in that
something
humidity.
Go down.
And by then, it will be Omicron 5, right?
More like 12 or 13, 5. But we'll be fine.
All right, y'all. Take care. Congratulations,
good night, good
Tony
day
and
after
Jasmine.
y'all. It's lovely
Enjoy
as always.
it.
Bye, Jasmine.
Forgive my salty ass. Take care and enjoy the rest of the week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.